What comes out of the sky? Lots of things, right? But mostly water. We call that precipitation. Precipitation is anything that falls out of a cloud. We measure rain with a rain gauge. This is called a rain gauge. And it's you just put this on a fence somewhere out in the open, and when it rains, the water goes in, and you can measure for that small area how much we got on a night or a day. And then when it starts to fill up, or when you want to remeasure, you just pour it out. This pops out of there. And you can measure the next day how much water we get. There are 6 different things that fall out of the sky. Rain, that one's easy. Big drops. Have you ever been in a rain that hurts? It hits you so hard that it kind of stings. You have? Yeah, I have too. Not very often, but sometimes it comes down so fast that it hurts a little bit. Drizzle. Drizzle is very light. Like, do you know the word mist? If you walk through mist, very small, and it sometimes feels good, especially on a hot day, and you get drizzle, and it cools you off. So those are both water. Now, the next ones are all some form of frozen water, ice in some way. And I'm going to show you some close-ups of snowflakes. We got a whole bunch of snow a month ago. Hail, which is a big chunk of ice that can fall out of a cloud, freezes way up high in the sky and gets bigger and bigger and bigger and then falls. Sleet is also sometimes called freezing rain. So it starts out as water in the cloud, and then as it's falling, it turns into ice and then hits the ground. And the last one, we actually had a day of this too. An ice storm is when it's water in the cloud and it falls down as water, but when it touches things on the ground that are cold, like a car, it'll put ice on it. That water turns into ice. So our roads can get icy, telephone lines can get icy and they can break. So all 3 of these are kind of the same. It's just one freezes up high, one freezes in the middle, and one freezes on the ground. Here you see a couple of them. This is an ice storm. I think this one is really cool. Everything is coated in ice. The cars, the benches, the road. It's kind of pretty if you don't have to go anywhere. Here you can see some rain clouds from up in airplanes, and it really looks different when you're seeing it from that angle or that perspective. Also kind of pretty. This one is hail, and that's one of the biggest hails I've ever seen. We say that that is softball size. Well, usually we can get golf ball size, and they usually say pea-sized hail, tiny, like peas that you would eat. And if we know a big storm is coming, people sometimes cover up their cars if it's going to be outside, because they know that the hail could break their window or make little dents into the metal of the car. So they cover it up, it looks silly, but it's pretty smart. Now, one thing I'd like you to know about snow is that snowflakes always have 6 sides. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter. They're always going to be 6-side crystal. And notice that none of them look the same. Snow, for the entire history of the earth, there's never been 2 snowflakes that are equal or the same. They're all different. And it has to do with the temperature. And when it's not as cold, you see the snowflakes are much thinner. Okay. Any questions about precipitation? Rain, drizzle, snow, hail, sleet, and ice. 6 types